Hey guys, welcome to my 10-month recovery video. I'm really sorry that this is late. Um, I would like to explain myself. I actually recorded this video like 3, 4 days ago. It went really well. I felt like I had really high energy. I was really just speaking from the heart, and I did like a mukbang, like a Korean snack mukbang while I was filming and talking, and I even did the spicy noodle challenge with my mom. But when it came down to editing the video, I just hated the way I looked in it. I gave it like a day to see if I would change my mind, but I just felt really insecure about the way I looked, and I wanted to be honest about that. I don't really think I look my best in any of these recovery videos, but I film them and post them like this just to show you what someone with acne, what someone who's going through recovery actually looks like, because even YouTubers, like, they're using lighting, they're putting on makeup. It's like, that's all good. But for me, I think it's just like, I don't really care. If you see the real me, I think that's even better. There's a great quote like, aligning with your most authentic self is a service to everyone around you, or like is inspirational for everyone around you, which I really try to remind myself of, especially when like I'm in my really, really dark spots. But yeah, I record that video. I'm really sad that I just don't feel good enough to use it. It had some really great content. Nevertheless, that's my explanation. Also, I'm recording this on my laptop. Sorry if the quality is really bad or the sound is bad. But yeah, this is a 10-month update. This was really interesting. Okay, so hear me out. The 9 to 10 month was very good for me. As in, I felt good. I felt like I was starting to look like myself. I was telling everyone that I'm like starting to bloom. I was very happy. I got a job. I like made plans for the summer. I was just on a high. In addition to that, I was fitting into my clothes better. I was actually going out for once for like the first time. Some of my old clothes were like more comfortable now. And so I thought to myself, like, this has to mean that I dropped like 5, 7 pounds. Like, there's no way. Like, I felt like I had probably just dropped a lot of weight without trying. Again, I didn't like diet or anything. Of course, I'm in recovery. Why would I do that? Anyway, so for those of you who don't know, I like weigh myself every month. I skipped a few months because it was like really triggering, but I started doing it again just to see. And the past 2 months, I lost like 4 or 5 pounds total overall. And when I stepped on the scale a few days ago, I was like expecting the number to be lower than it was last time. But it was the same, like the exact same. And that was triggering. I'm going to admit, the hard part of recovery is that you really do get caught up in those thoughts. Yeah, I was really confused because it just didn't make sense to me. Like, I felt like my body image was so much better. I felt like I looked so much like more like me, like the me that I remember. And I really did think like I had lost weight. But that didn't happen. So at first I got really, really like upset, which again, weight loss, weight gain, that's not the point of recovery, right? It's like constantly reminding myself that. But even though like I make these videos to help other people in recovery, I'm not like perfect, right? I still like have those days where I'm like I wish this would just be over, and I want to be transparent about that. So I was really upset, and I was saying some pretty mean things to myself, not saying, but thinking some pretty mean things to myself that morning. I was just like really shocked, and I was like, oh my gosh, does this mean like my overshoot won't come off at all? Which, again, even if it doesn't, that's my lesson to learn. That's what I have to deal with. But also, it really doesn't make sense for me to be dropping that much weight this soon in my journey. I know everyone's familiar with Stephanie Butterbore, which you can have your opinion on her. She personally did help me get into recovery, but I think a lot of us, kind of expected that same timeline. You know, she like started like dropping weight after 8 months, and I kind of expected the same to happen to me, and it didn't. I don't know what's going on, but it's what my body needs, right? Another thing that's really interesting is like in my 6th and 7th month videos, I was kind of like on like a spiritual high. I was just super happy, if you remember. And I said like I could be at this weight forever and I wouldn't care, which I honestly meant at the time. And it was great because I was attaching my happiness and my self-worth to important things like my view of the universe and like how I think about life and, you know, just nature and the little things. Like that's where my worth was attached and that's where my attention was. But as soon as I did see the scale change, even a little bit, it's like all of that worth got reattached. Not all of it, some of it. A good part of it got reattached to my body. Like during month 6 and 7, I was not attached to my body, but just like seeing my body change got me reattached, which is not good because then I created these expectations and then those expectations didn't follow through. And now I'm stuck in this mental cycle again of kind of being upset and depressed at where I am. So I'm definitely going to learn from this and continue repeating patience as a mantra and, you know, just, yeah, be patient with the process. I'm going to, again, detach from this physical form. It comes out of earth and it goes back into earth when you die. Me, the self is much more than that. That's my philosophy. So yeah, take away from that what you will. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah. So to summarize, thought I was losing weight. I fit into my clothes better. That's all true. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe the bloat went down. Maybe I gained muscle. I don't know what it is, but the scale says I'm the same. But yeah, that's it. That's all I'm going to say. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It was tough. I was having such a happy month until I did that. So the scale did trigger me again. I don't know if I'll check for 11 months. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But I do want to address my viewers. Those of you who watch this, those of you who are at the same point in recovery as me or later in recovery, and you guys were wondering like, wait, why am I not losing weight yet? Like she's saying that she's going back to her set point. Well, now you know I'm not. I think a lot of us expect like recovery, like the weight process to go like woo ba-doo ba-doo, but obviously it's more like ba-doo. You know, it went ba-doo, like it went down, but it's like straight again. So if any of you did feel like down because you were still having extreme hunger or you're still gaining weight or you still have all the weight, don't worry. I'm in the same boat. I apologize for getting too excited. I think that's my problem is I get impatient. And just because I find like a victory, I kind of hold on to that. And then when the victory doesn't keep giving, I'm like, what's happening? But okay, wanted to be honest about that. And then I wanted to answer some questions that you guys asked in the comments of the last video. Thank you so much for commenting. I really enjoyed reading all of them. So there were several questions about hunger, especially like mental hunger, extreme hunger. Mackenzie asked, can you explain your experience with mental hunger and extreme hunger over these past few months? And Lauren left a lovely comment and said that they asked me, do you experience days of extreme hunger? And if not, what was your experience of calming it down? This is interesting. So let me like summarize my experience with extreme hunger. I started recovering in June, and the first 2-3 months was for sure like full out extreme hunger. I'm talking minimum 6,000 calories a day, getting dessert every night, just like binging on food every night. I let that happen. I let my body do that. Around the 4th month, I was still eating a lot. I was still very hungry, but it wasn't like the aggressive type of binging. Like I wasn't, because like the first few months I was like in my pantry eating while I'm like watching TV. Also, I'm sorry if I'm talking quietly. It's just because like people are taking naps and I don't want them to hear me. But around 4 months, it was more like I'm gonna eat like constantly, but it wasn't like aggressive, like I'm gonna like explode type. But that extreme hunger lasted like 4 to 6.5 months. And then around month 7, I think you guys remember my anxiety really got bad. My appetite kind of went really low, which was not good. But yeah, I didn't really experience like extreme hunger then. I was just eating normally. And then it's been pretty normal since then, as in like eat what you want and yeah, feel good about it. However, I do have like a few instances where my body wants more food than usual. And sometimes it can freak you out. Sometimes it can be triggering because it reminds you of previous binges you've had in your life and just all the guilt that was associated with that. But like for example, a few weeks ago, I like had a few days where I was just insatiable. Like I was like, I need food and I needed junk food. Like I have been eating pretty healthy lately just because that's what I crave, but I wanted junk food and I was just like, I was kind of freaking out. I was like, what is happening? Because it was like kind of bringing back those old memories, but I let myself do it, of course. Yeah, it calmed down after. And so I think it's very normal for me, at least, to have days or periods of time where my hunger is higher. I just let it happen. And remember that extreme hunger also depends on the extent of time that you were starving. So for me, my eating disorder was about 2.5 years. And for most of that time, like for 1.5 years, I was eating around like 1,800 calories. So it wasn't like, that's still bad. That's still low. I'm not saying it's good, but it wasn't like below 800. It was still pretty bad. But obviously, if you had a more extreme form of your eating disorder, or if you had it for longer, you're going to have a different response and a different type of recovery. I think I think recovery videos are helpful, but don't compare someone's recovery to yours. That's why I like trying to make my videos like more talking based, more mind based, or like mental framework based, because there's a lot you can take away from a recovery video. Like, oh, that person's going through the same thing. Oh, that person's at this month and they're feeling like this. In the end, recovery needs to be more than physical, right? Yeah, so experience with extreme hunger is I don't experience it regularly, but it's totally fine if you do. Yeah, if that's what your body needs, it's what it needs. Another question. Anna left a lovely comment too, and they said that maybe you could talk about body soreness or how your body image is doing. So like I told you, my body image was doing great before I checked the scale. My body image was pretty good. Stepping on a scale, that was on me. I don't know what to say. People mess up. I did that. I think I need to remember that I'm in such a better place than I was at month 4 and month 5. Like, even if I'm suffering right now, even if it feels like things are not moving fast enough, it's only because I can only perceive time from a human perspective, right? And time, we perceive it very slowly. So if I was to like zoom out on the timeline and kind of look at the timeline as a whole, like I have already made so much progress since where I started from. And I should trust that it's going to keep going. So with body image, it's like, okay, it's better than before. Body soreness, that's a good question. I never really thought about soreness during this entire recovery. I think I just assumed most of the soreness was bloating. So like the first 6 months was when I was most bloated, constantly bloated. Still am, obviously, a little, but those first 6 months were really like obvious bloat. And in terms of soreness, my boobs did get really sore. They still get sore. I think this might happen around like the weight redistribution period, which for me started around like month 8, 9. I don't know, it's not even like distribution, like as in like my waist became skinny and everything else became big. That's unrealistic. That's not how it works. Okay. It just means like you start to grow in other places. So yeah, that happened to me, my chest area. Yeah, I was really confused because I was like, they got really, really sore. They still sometimes get sore. They might still be growing, but yeah, that's my experience. Oh, everyone who commented, you guys are so lovely. Everyone who's watching, we're in this together, and there are so many other people. Just like close your eyes and feel everyone's presence. Like there are so many people in your position, and we all can give each other strength, collective strength. I did also really quickly just want to mention this other thought that I had is like looking at past pictures, you know, can be really triggering. You know, we all kind of at some point think, oh, I was so much prettier then or whatever. But I think it's important to like replace the word skinny with sick. So if you're looking at a picture and you were like, oh my gosh, that shirt used to fit me when I was skinny, rephrase that and say, oh, that shirt used to fit me when I was sick. I think photos don't show what was going on in our heads at that time, right? I'm really thankful that I journal, so I have like written evidence of how dark my eating disorder was. When you look at pictures, you may look happy, but you don't remember the thoughts and the emotions you were feeling. You don't remember like constantly counting calories in your head on repeat, like in your head. Like you don't remember that stuff. Even I've completely forgotten what it feels like to have an eating disorder, which is why sometimes I feel so guilty for being in this state, right? Because like we all have reached a point, or like a lot of us have reached a point where we're weight restored, we have overshot our weight, we're like in the biggest bodies we've ever been in, and we still feel guilty because we don't have ED patterns anymore, because we don't like we're not sick enough to pity, we're not constantly counting calories, you know, we're not over exercising. So it's like part of you that it can like you can feel like you're lazy. But I think it's really important to remember that you were really sick at one point, and it's going to take a while to recover from that. It's karma. Like I keep telling myself, like, Tulsi, you did awful things to yourself for 2.5 years, and it doesn't make sense for the universe to just be nice to you and fix you in 10 months. Like it's going to take a while. Moving forward, my own goals would be to continue to release the thoughts about weight or my body, just continue releasing them. I meditated like 2 times today for like an hour each, just because I was like, I need to stop thinking about this. I keep getting caught in the circle. So I'm just like trying to let it go. And I'm really anxious about reintegrating. I'm probably gonna like be seeing friends again this summer. I'm super nervous, like super nervous for them to see me. Super nervous for like my past romantic interests to see me, but you gotta live on. And if I'm gonna do it, I want all of you to do it. And if all of you do it, I'm gonna do it. Okay, we got this. We're in it together. Anyway, yeah. Sorry that this video was late again. I hope this was a little helpful. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below and give me a like, and have a good day and eat a snack. Bye.